March 21st, I have inspirational, personal / confianza, shake, personal, cleanse, business. So I have 6 posts, and they're not all about It Works. Like some of them are like just normal stuff, but you can see how even like the second one that's personal / confianza, I knew that I was going to incorporate confianza in a personal post that day. So I write out like 2 weeks at a time, and I stick with some of the same products. So like that first day, I actually hit on 3 products: confianza, shake, and cleanse. Well, the next day I'm hair, skin, and nails and greens. But the next day I'm back to confianza, shake, and hair, skin, and nails. So I try to keep whatever products I'm going to focus on. Like say they're like 3 products. I will try to, in a 2-week span, hit on all of those multiple times. And I might break it up. Like I might skip a day on one of them, but come back to it. But I show my audience the same thing over and over. And that's what's always been really golden for me. Because studies have shown that people have to see things like 7 to 9 times before they feel compelled to act on it. Before there's that trigger in their brain where they're like, I need this. Like I have to find out what this is. So if you're bouncing around all over the place, it's hard for your audience to like follow you and to actually reach that point where they're coming to you instead of you coming to them. But if you have this like very solid post game plan, like you know what you're telling them, have that solid game plan and show them that, and they're more likely going to see something enough times that interests them and come to you about it. So that's what I would recommend is like whatever products have always been your hot selling products, like focus on those. For me, it's cleanse, hair, skin, and nails. Shake has been pretty good lately. Let's see, greens, and confianza. So find what products are your hot selling products and stick to those, and like make a game and commit to posting about them, several times over the next few days. So that's kind of, the basis that I do is I have that game plan, and I just commit, like I've got to post 6 times a day. And I know it's hard if you have a lot of other stuff going on in your life, but when you write it out like this, it's so much easier because you're like setting yourself up for success. Like I know when it's been about an hour and a half since my last post, I'm opening my notes in my iPhone and I'm like, what's next? Okay, it's a shake post. Okay, I need to go take a picture with shake or whatever, So set yourself up for success this last week. Work smarter, not harder. You're going to be way more likely to stick to a plan if you actually have a plan.
I love that. I love that so much. I feel like that intentionality of just knowing exactly what you're going to be doing, and the fact that you already have that written out. Like it's not like you're using all your brain power to think about what you're going to post. Like for me, I wake up in the morning and I'm like, all right, what am I going to post about today? Or maybe I've had a business post like stirring in my brain for a few days. And so then, that's taking up all that space until I can finally get it out. But I feel like that, intentionality of I already know what I'm posting about. I've already got it written down. Let's just do it. I feel like that's a game changer for sure.
Yeah. And along those lines, like save what you're going to post to your phone, like if it's a product or before and after. Like if it's a bake or something, like I'll take a picture with it. But like cleanse and hair, skin, and nails, if I know I'm hitting that hard this next week, I'm going to go save like a crap load of hair, skin, and nails and cleanse photos. So when I see, oh, cleanse is next, I'm like, oh, I already got 10 pictures for cleanse. Let me pick which one I want today,
So smart. So smart. So can you just tell, especially for the new people that are on, where do you find those pictures of before and afters or of really good product pictures?
Okay, so for before and afters, when I first got started, I just like stole all the ones from the team pages from Elite Legacy and Freedom Legacy. But now that I've been in the business longer and I've like cycled those through so much, I will look at other leaders. So any other leaders that I follow, I'll just go through like the last, month of their posts, and I'll see if they've shared any. And it's hit or miss, sometimes they have, sometimes they haven't, but that's definitely a good place to look. And then the latest that I actually learned just on the other night on Kelsey's Zoom, she was talking about the Facebook search bar. Okay, I totally did that night and got tons more pictures. So for those of you that weren't on that Zoom, she just said that she will literally in that search bar where like you would search for a friend, she'll type in like hair, skin, and nails or cleanse. And anyone that's public and has shared a cleanse post or hair, skin, and nails post is going to come up. And so I just sat there and scrolled through. I mean, I was like back a year ago, guys, and saving hair, skin, and nail pictures. So that's definitely a great resource. But if you're brand new, like don't be overwhelmed. Just go to the team pages because the team pages have plenty to get you started. You can search in Elite Legacy this exactly the same way. Like just search hair, skin, and nails or HSN, and any ones that people have shared will come up. And like check the comments of stuff too, because you'll see where people actually ask, does anybody have any hair, skin, and nails? And there might be like 8 comments. So go to the comments and just save those pictures.
Perfect. I love it. I love it. Do you have like your one from January, like your game plan? Do you still have that written out somewhere that you could maybe like send us a little snapshot of that just so that we could kind of see what that looks like for you?
Yeah.
That would be amazing. I feel like that would be helpful for those of us who like, haven't thought about doing that before, including myself, to just really see what that looks like and how that's laid out for you.
Yeah,
So
I don't know if I have the January one, but I have the March one for the first half and the second half, so I'll just send you guys that one.
that would be amazing. Thank you so much. Okay, so my next question is, for those loyal customers that you have that, you talk to them, they seem interested, and then they kind of fall off the grid. What's your best sealing the deal tips, or how do you do your follow-ups with them?
Okay, so I follow up with everybody the exact same way, and I don't say anything else other than what I'm about to tell you. So my best advice is like, don't lengthen this at all. If I have a conversation with someone like on Instagram or something, and they ask me like, hey, how much for the cleanse? And I give them my wording, my pricing that I give everybody. And then they either don't say anything or they say like something like, okay, let me think about it. I will message them on the next coming up Friday, unless it was Thursday, in which case I might wait a little longer. But I'll message them the nearest Friday, and I will literally just say, hey girl, are you ready to get your order of the cleanse in? Or, hey girl, were you still interested in the cleanse? That is it. I have found that when there's anything else added to that, they're less likely to respond. But if it's short and sweet, even if they're busy, they can answer you real quick. And that usually goes really well for me. I usually get either a, yes, I am, let me give you my info, or a, no, not yet, I have to wait till I get paid, in which case I'll say, oh, well, what day do you get paid? So the more short, sweet, and direct you are, the more likely you're going to either close the deal or get a step further to closing the deal. And I just wanted to share this too. When I got started, I heard Tiffany Herr on a training say, she's one of our ambassador uplines for those of you that don't know, but she shared on a training, she said, take the words, let me know out of your vocabulary. And this has stuck with me ever since. So I want to encourage anyone on here that's like having a hard time being direct. Do not say, hey girl, let me know if you're ready to get your order in. Don't say that. I know it sounds like normal and you're like, oh, but that's like the normal thing to say. That's what I would think is normal too. But I can tell you when I first got started before watching that training, I was saying that to people and I was getting like crickets and they weren't letting me know. Well, in her training, that's actually what she said is she said, don't say let me know because they won't let you know. She was like, when they say let you know, when you say let me know, they don't feel like they have to answer you because in their mind, they're like, okay, I'll let her know later, and then they go off and do their thing and they forget about you. So don't just, if I could say anything till I'm blue in the face, be direct. Just say, are you ready to get your order in?
Such a good tip. And I feel like for me as a yellow, like I'm very, I tend to be like, oh, just let me know. Like, thanks so much for considering. But I love that just going right for it because that is going to make all the difference in the world. We hear it all the time that the more confident you are in your, interaction with them, the more confident they will be in ordering this product. And so I really feel like that just goes really well with what you just said. And I love that. Keep it so short, sweet, and direct. I thought that was money. So good. All right. So Brittany, how do you train your team to do the same as you're doing? You're signing all these customers. I know your team has been very successful this month in signing a lot of customers. How are you training them and how are you getting them on board with, being mass enrollers?
Okay. So I literally train every single person the exact same way. And what I do is I tell them when they get started, we need to get their first post up. And we have a certain way that we tell them to close their posts, which I can type in the comments in a minute, but it's a little bit different from the first post example about wrapping. It's actually saying, it's kind of along that same lines, but it's saying if I'm in need of product testers. It's broadening it to where if someone has like some negative view of the wraps, it's okay because you just said you needed product testers for all 40 of your products. And I feel like that's a better way to get people to draw more people in when you're brand new. Last night I had a new team member join and she just made her first post today and is already having people say, I'll be a product tester for you. So that's just a great way if you're brand new. And again, if you want to know the wording, I'll send that to you. But then the second thing is I give them a message just to send to warm market, like warm hot. So I tell them what Claire always talks about, think of the 10 people you tell if you're pregnant, like start there and branch out. But I give them a really short and sweet message to send to them that's just basically saying that they're a distributor and that they're building their portfolio, and same thing, in need of product testers. It's literally the same thing the post was closed with, but it's personal and it's sending it out just to that warm market. And again, this is people that you know. You want to stick when you're brand new to the people that you know and branch off from there. And then the third thing is I'm giving them my wording for pricing. So I train my team in a very specific way for wording. We don't say the words auto shipment. We don't say the words 3-month commitment. We don't say 90-day commitment. We literally say, all it means to be a loyal customer is after purchasing Cleanse today, you agree to try one thing in April and one thing in May. And then we go on a little bit more after that, saying like it can be anything at all, blah, blah, blah. But we say one thing in April, one thing in May. That does not sound scary to the millennial generation that is afraid of commitment. But if you say anything like auto shipment, 3-month commitment, 90 days, I mean, their brain haywire is like, oh, whoa, I don't want to do that. So that's the best advice I can give with like sealing the deal is just don't say anything that's going to scare them off. And then I was telling someone this the other day, if I do have someone that still kind of catches on what that is and is like, oh, well, I don't want to have to commit to get something, then, or if they're wanting hair, skin, and nails, they're like, oh, I don't want to have to commit to getting hair, skin, and nails for 2 more months unless I know I like it. I'll be like, oh, girl, you don't have to commit to getting hair, skin, and nails the next 2 months. You're just going to agree to try, one thing in April and May. It doesn't have to be hair, skin, and nails. It can be something for $15. But yeah, you don't have to get hair, skin, and nails. Don't worry. And then that confuses them. They're like, oh, okay, well, cool. I'll try hair, skin, and nails then. So like be confident in what you're portraying and like be like ready to overcome any objections, because the more ready you are and like the more confident, it's not going to be a big deal. Like you're going to ease their fears and you're going to keep everything moving smoothly. So yeah, that's the next thing I do is I give them that very clear cut wording, and I literally send it to every new team member and I say, this is what we say. We don't say anything but this. When someone asks us pricing, we say this and only this. And then I also lastly send them what to say whenever someone says, okay, that sounds good, I want to get some ordered. We have something that we send, and we put all our own orders through. We don't send people to our website unless it's an absolute necessity, aka like they're just not going to give the info, which rarely happens. So we send them something short and sweet that just says like, okay, great, I can get your order through. I just need this, 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 and this. After I get your order through, I will send you your system generated login info and you'll be able to log in and view everything. We send that to every single person, because the thing about it is, especially at the end of the month when you're pushing for volume, you do not want to wait on flaky people to go get to the website, because people, like, it's not a priority for them. They don't know you're pushing for promotion. They don't know that the cutoff for your paycheck is the 31st, and then, you know what I mean? Like, they have no idea. So in their mind, if they're busy, they'll be like, oh, I'll get to it next week. It's no big deal. What's another week? Or they'll, say they're going to do it when they get home and then they fall asleep. So you will stress yourself out if you send 20 people to your website and only like 2 or 3 of them actually put an order in. So just eliminate that stress and just, send them that direct script of like, okay, I'll get your order through for you. That's always hands down been the best way for me to get that volume fast. When I first started, I wasn't doing that. And I learned this on a training from Dustin Bland, and it literally was a game changer. The month I learned it, I went from, my last month was 9 customers. And then in September, I heard his training. I signed 23 that month. It was my best month ever. And it's only gone up since then. But that's because I literally, like, 1 out of 20 people I might send to my website. And like I said, that's if they're just pitching a fit, they're not going to give it to me. So
I love that. And you'll put all that wording in the post in Freedom Legacy?
yes.
Perfect. I love it. I've seen Brittani's wording, you guys. It is absolutely a game changer. It's incredible, just the confidence. Like, I feel like whenever I hear you talk, Brittani, it's just like confidence. And that's what her potential customers are feeling when they're talking to her. They just hear this girl who knows what she's talking about, who is not messing around, who's just like here to, sell them something, and they don't even care, because they're like, hey, if this chick's that confident about it, then I am too. So remember that as you're talking to people, if there's ever a time to be just forward, direct, short, simple, it's when you're talking to potentials. Give them your confidence, and that will come back at you. All right. I don't know that it's going to be the last question. I think I have one more after this one that I'm going to surprise you with. But the last question I have written down for you is, what is your last week of this month going to look like? You guys, Brittani's promoting this month, and so it's a crazy month for her. I know a lot of you guys are promoting as well. What is your last week in a promotion month going to look like?
To be honest, it looks like chaos. It looks like the messiest my house has ever been, and not a lot of sleep. Zach will tell you I'll be up till like 3 a.m. probably, but it's fine, because guys, when there's like bonuses on the line, you do what you got to do. So the best advice that I can give is, like, however much time you usually put in the business, like, quadruple that right now. Because here's the thing, even if you're not up for promotion, everything you do between now and the 31st is going to be on your 8th that motivate you, that you could literally like double or triple your paycheck this last week with volume. So just stay up later, get up a little earlier. I like my sleep. I like to sleep in. So I stay up late and I normally sleep in, but I've told Zach this past week, I'm like, okay, I got to get up an hour earlier. So, you know, like make little sacrifices because it will add up. Just think of like the compound effect for those of you who've read that book. And then just be very intentional with your time. So like these, like even this past week, and same with this next week, the end of the month, like you won't see me watching TV or doing anything like that. Like I'll still be spending time with my family, but I'm going to be very like alert and attentive to like, if someone needs me, if I get a message, I can respond quickly. Because again, some people take longer. So know that and be quickly responding. Because if someone messages you and they are the kind of person that's going to take a day to think about it, you don't want to wait 12 hours to finally sit down and message them. Like message them right then. Just stop what you're doing. It doesn't take that long. And just really put your all into this week. So the best thing I can say is just like, don't try to fit your schedule in this tiny little box this next week. Like be very open, be very, you know, just, am I making any sense? I don't know if that's coming across right, but
yeah,
like, just,
that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, just be very intentional with your time. And so, I would go through your list. If you have a list of people, like your potential customers, let me show you guys. Like I keep this list and I'll like highlight them as they sign. So even people from back in June when I started, which is like this first page, like I'm still going back in there and I'm not necessarily messaging every single person. I'm going back through and I'm making a middle note. When is the last point of contact with this person? And so anyone that I haven't talked to in a little bit, I mean, I'm messaging them. So, and just get creative. Like I had some people that when we did BOGO wraps back in July, I wrote down this list of people that were interested in BOGO wraps. And I reached out to all those people just yesterday and I just said, hey, I know it's been forever since we've talked, but I know that you were interested in wraps a while ago. And I wanted to let you know I had a special on them right now. I just opened up 4 spots for people to be able to use them at 40% off. Were you interested in that? So just get creative. Like there doesn't have to be a special sale. Like you can, I mean, we're in marketing. So like get creative in with your wording and what you're going to say, and just reach out to people. Like you have the best deal of the season on your hands right now, you know, because if they're not already a customer, chances are they have no idea about the low customer discount. So use that to your advantage and just reach out and act like it's a huge deal. It's this weekend only.
I love that. And I feel like that's another thing that Brittani does really well, you guys, is she always puts this sense of urgency on every single one of her posts. And so you'll always see her being like I messaged her one day because she's posting about like, oh my gosh, you guys, today when I don't even remember what products it was, but like if you order like cleanse in the greens, you're going to get an additional like 50% off of your order. And I'm like, how is she doing that? Like, is this compliant? What is this girl doing? And so I messaged her and I'm like, what is this? And she's taking those packs that we have where you bundle a couple products together and you get another, minor discount compared to the 40%, but she's doing the math, however you do. I don't ask her how to do that math. I don't know. Doing the math, figuring out the percentage off of the total, from the retail price to that total, discount or whatever. And then she's marketing that as like, oh my gosh, I have this deal today only, you guys jump on this. And because she's putting all of her orders in through her website, her customers aren't seeing that it's just a pack. They're really thinking like, oh my gosh, babe, I just got 50% off on these products. I'm so excited. So, watch that. Like when you're doing that, keep that in mind. Put the sense of urgency. Be creative. I love seeing Brittani's posts because they're always so creative. She's got this creative marketing mind that I'm like, oh my gosh, I want that for myself. So it pushes me to like think, okay, what kind of deals can I offer? What kind of, one day only deals can I make up that's compliant? I'm not paying for anybody's product, but what can I make up here that sounds amazing that people are going to want to jump on? So I love that you do that too, Brittani. Okay, my last question, that's a surprise question for you, but I think it'll be okay. How do you keep focused on the goal and, get all the negative crap that is going to creep in out of your head? For instance, I know a lot of us are, maybe we're still 5 distributors away from our promotion, or maybe we're still 3,000 in volume away from getting our promotion. How do you keep your head in the game and, know that you're going to promote even if it seems impossible?
Okay, so this might take some of you off guard, but the number one thing I do when things start getting crazy in my mind is I just stop what I'm doing and like self-development. So I know you're probably thinking, oh, but I need to be doing only income producing activities. literally like that is the most income producing activity that you can do whenever you are struggling in your mind and you're, like Sarah said, like you're kind of far away and you're like, I don't know how this is going to happen. Because what's going to happen is one of two things. You're going to get your mind right and you're going to run towards the goal, or you're going to just crumble in doubt and defeat. And you're going to be like, there's no way, like there's not enough time. And the thing about it is things can happen really fast in this business, but your mind always has to be right. I literally, like when I got started, had a slow start, believe it or not. I missed my Ruby bonus. I didn't get the Ruby bonus. Zach missed his Ruby bonus. And like those things could have just crumbled me. But I was like, you know what? It's fine. Like I'm going to keep going. It's going to all pick up. And once it started picking up, I mean, it's been like whatever you call it, like the snowball effect. So anyways, that being said, you can't let little things like little setbacks keep you back. You have to get your mind right. So like if you don't have a good self-development book, like listen to an audiobook. I've been listening to the audiobook You Are a Badass. It's on YouTube for free and I love it. I had heard like a lot of controversy about it and I was like, I'm just going to try it because I need a new self-development book. It's really good. Like she literally just kicks you in the butt every day. Like she's like, get over yourself. Like all these things you're thinking, they're not true. Like, and she talks about how like we have these learned bad habits, you know, from like however we were raised or whoever we've been around, you know, if you've been around negative people, and like you've got to break away from that. So like I recommend when you're in the shower or you're driving or you're going on a walk or whatever while you're cooking dinner, doing laundry, just play that. It's on YouTube for free. It's like a 5-hour audiobook, so it'll take you out. But just listen to little spurts, like 15 minutes here and there. It literally, if I'm ever having a moment where I'm like, okay, I still got to get this person and they're like, you know, so far away, like I will listen to that and it like puts everything back in perspective. And I can keep going. If you have time to sit down and read, or I guess you could do the audiobook of this too, but Taste the Line is absolutely amazing. And then so is The Circle Maker. That's another one of my favorites. And I feel like I'm forgetting one. The Compound Effect. That's an awesome one too. So just like listen to something or read something and just take 15, 20 minutes, sit down, get your mind right, pray, and then get back to work. But you have to stop and do that self-development, because if you're not pouring into yourself, what's going to happen is the stress and the pressure is going to get to you, and it's going to hold you back. So you just gotta, you know, stop and refocus. And then the other thing I guess I would say is just communicating with your team, for those of you that have teams. So I have all my team in a big chat and we're literally like one big family. So if anyone has a question, even if I'm busy, like there's going to be 20 other people that answer them, and we're just always pumping each other up. We do little fun contests and stuff like that. So like just make sure whether you're brand new, like stay connected with your upline and your sidelines. If you have a team, make sure you're staying in connected with your downlines, you know, because when we separate ourselves from community, that's when we're not doing as well. But when you stay involved with community, you know, you thrive. So just be that positive influence on each other.
I love that. I love that. That last line, you guys, about staying involved with your community. That's what this is. That's what this team is. And everybody on this Zoom, we all might be, you know, we might not be exactly from the same exact team, but we are all sidelines. And this is our community. And I think I don't know, just talking about this business, the most important parts of this business for me are you guys and are this team. It's been such an incredible blessing for me. Everything else is honestly a bonus. Like the fact that I get to make an income, the fact that these crazy bonuses are available to us is just a bonus. So remember that. And like Brittani was saying, if you're having a moment where you're like freaking out and you're, you know, not sure about, you know, how you're going to make your goals for the end of this month, talk to somebody on this team. It doesn't even have to be your upline. It could be a sideline. It could be just somebody that you're seeing here and you're like, hey, you look like a positive person. Can we talk? Don't feel afraid to do that. That's when the magic really happens. And that's when you start to really get involved in the team aspect of this. And you really start to see things changing in your business. Because now all of a sudden you're not in it all on your own. You're in it with a group of people. So that makes a big difference too. But Brittani, these tips were amazing. I feel like that was just like the best half hour ever. You just packed it in there, and I'm so thankful that you kept it short and sweet and direct, just like your messages are, because I'm feeling inspired to go work, and I know you guys probably are too. So I think we're going to sign off for tonight. Brittani, is there anything else that you wanted to say to close us out?
I just want to close out with one more tip about posting. I forgot to say this in my posting, but Sarah kind of mentioned it. Make sure you're closing all your posts with a sense of urgency. So like, and make sure what you're saying is believable. So like, for instance, don't say, I only have 5 spots left for hair, skin, and nails. Say, I only have 5 spots left that I can offer my 40% off discount to, or something like that. But like instill that sense of urgency in people and make sure it's believable, you know? And then that will prompt people to come to you more than, you know, them just seeing your posts and kind of not knowing what to think about it. And then, yeah, the last thing I just want to say is, guys, seriously, there is how many days left in the month? 7. Like 7 days is a long time in this business. A lot can happen in 7 days. So it doesn't matter if you're, like Sarah said, 3,000 in volume away. Like that can come together really fast. So just literally just put your head down, get to work, and don't let doubt come creeping in, because I mean, God can literally part the sea for you this 7 days, but you've got to be, you know, praying like it depends on him and working like it depends on you, like Mark Batterson said. So don't get in your head, oh, it's not happening for me this month, because like stranger things have happened in less time.
I love it. I love it. Okay, you guys, get to work. Brittani will post that wording in that same post on Freedom Legacy, just in the comments. So be looking out for that. That wording is money, you guys. It's incredible. That's going to change your business for sure. So I hope you guys took some great notes. We'll post the recording too for any of your teams who didn't quite get this. I started a couple minutes late, but we got the majority of it. So have a good night, you guys, and we'll talk to you all later.
Bye.